Are you ready for your college football six pack?
Let's bring it on.
Let's get it. Oh, wrong mouse. All right, so time for Parlay Pete's college football six pack. Let's get it.
Let's bring it in. I've got some really good stuff. I'm mad. We didn't really miss, but we did miss because I like doing the interaction part of this. But regardless of that, we've got a piping hot six pack, and I promise it won't disappoint because the later we get in the season, the more accurate it should be.
Hey, and by the way, thanks for putting the picks out last week. Like, we didn't even have a conversation about it. In my head, I was like, I hope Pierce gives me some picks just to throw on the gram. And then, like, lo and behold, you've been mentioning so-and-so's story. And I go, okay, bet. We got some picks. Thanks, man.
Yeah, we weren't going to leave it out. We weren't going to leave the people starving. So let's kick it off. We're going to get back to the Old Faithful, something that was working out a lot for us early in the year.
Ooh, that sounds like the first quarter.
You know exactly what it is. Alabama first quarter. They're playing New Mexico State this week. They sputtered offensively last week against LSU in a 20-14 fucking heart attack in Tuscaloosa. I just don't see them. I see them coming out and fucking really laying wood to just kick this thing off. Give me Alabama minus 13.5 first quarter. I do believe that they'll be up 2 touchdowns against New Mexico State. This is a slappy. This was put here on intentionally because the LSU game is typically a good game anyways. Even though LSU's not good, it still is typically a good game. So they had to have that slappy immediately after.
Yeah, they got the slappy after. They got a bye, then Iron Bowl, right?
I don't know who they play next, but yeah, then the Iron Bowl I know will be the week after that because
I'm pretty sure
it's the day after Thanksgiving typically, or like that Saturday.
So that Saturday, yeah, I'm pretty sure they got the week off because it's the Iron Bowl.
Next up, we got Duke at Virginia Tech. We're gonna roll with the Hokies minus 6.5 in the first half. That's the spread. I wanted to take the 12.5. And the thing is, Duke is so fucking awful. They are one of the worst teams in college football. They get Pitt a good fight in the first quarter last week, but they still ended up losing by 25, which that was one of the free picks that we gave away that Pittsburgh was going to cover that 21.5. I expect Virginia Tech to do the same, but to do it in the first half. Next, we got a game that we kind of talked about before we got here, Michigan at Penn State. I'm rolling with Michigan, and I don't have a biasness towards Michigan. I think that Penn State, after kind of watching them, they beat Auburn, good win. They were kind of lethargic last week. Obviously, I watched them against Iowa. Iowa is not good. We knew that Iowa really wasn't a top. They weren't the number 2 team in the nation. Everybody kind of knew that.
What Colin?
Harbaugh in the momentum to get to the Ohio State game, where it basically comes down to, can you beat Ohio State? I like the idea of putting Harbaugh in that position again. He hasn't been in it for 3 years. And when he was in it 3 years ago, if you remember, there was a terrible call made in that game to where Michigan should have won that game because either Michigan got the first down or Ohio State didn't. I think JT Barrett didn't get the first down.
It was a bad spot or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was a terrible spot. I think it was JT Barrett that didn't get the first down, but they gave him the spot. And so I like the idea of them keeping that going. So we're going to go with Michigan money line. Next up, we're going to get to a late game. Colorado at UCLA. They have the over-under set at 57. I'm hopping all over that over. UCLA's defense sucks dick, but their offense scores points. And Colorado's defense sucks dick. And it's the Pac-10 or Pac-12 now. Self-explanatory. Bunch of points going to get scored. UCLA probably should get into the 40s, and I don't see how Colorado doesn't get to the 20s.
Run it up, Coach Duke. Shout out to UCLA, man.
Exactly. Next game, Georgia at Tennessee. I wanted to go a couple of different ways on this, but I wanted to stay true to kind of what I think is probably going to happen. I don't think Tennessee's going to get shut out at home. And so I do think that they're going to get to that 17-point threshold. Maybe even they might score 20. Who knows? The offense has been humming, and they do look good. But I expect Georgia to honestly come out and put points on them. I don't see how they don't get over this 56 number. I like the idea of them airing it out on Tennessee. They got a leaky defense, a leaky secondary. They're not good defensively. So Georgia will score the points. The question is, will Tennessee get to cover? 40-17 sounds about right to me. That's a point over. I'm going to take the over. And we're not even going to buy points on it. We want to keep it at over 56. And then for the final game in the 6-pack, we got another SEC dogfight. Pretty good game. Really could determine a lot for one team and enough for another too if somehow Alabama loses in the Iron Bowl. Texas A&M at Mississippi. Give me Ole Miss on the money line. They're giving us plus money. I'm on the Matt Corral train because if the Falcons were to draft a quarterback, I am all in favor of him. That is the only quarterback in college football that I would want for my Falcons. And
no spin.
I just like the idea of laying in a game like this to show up and beat a Texas A&M team that, to me, even though they're ranked number 11 and they were ranked in the top 6 to start the season, I still don't believe that they're that good. And I like Jimbo Fisher. I was a big fan of that Florida State team with Jameis. But I don't like them in the Grove at Ole Miss. So give me Ole Miss on the money line.
All right, so that's all 6 of them, isn't it? Yes, let me go back through them. We got Bama first quarter minus 13.5 over New Mexico. We got we're going to take Virginia Tech over Duke first half minus 6.5. We're going to take Michigan at on the money line versus Penn State. We're going to go Colorado and UCLA over 57, Georgia and Tennessee over 56, and then we're going to take Ole Miss on the money line versus Texas A&M.
Boom. That's beautiful. That's fucking beautiful.